Alright. Hello, we are back with Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. For whatever reason, the sound is... Okay. So, one thing to do... overall tab. No, pausing is fine. Well, it's not that big a deal, I guess. Wait, no, I haven't played this game for a while, so I'm gonna be in trouble if I don't get a reminder every now and again. That's good. We'll see how well I can do it, probably. Looks like there's nothing I can do about it. I was wondering if I could change it so the sound stays on when I alt tab again. It doesn't look like it. Alright, whatever. Response voice. Sure. Alright, let's get to it. We're in the... how'd they call it? Oh, we're in Canobras. Ah, the Defender's Heart Tavern. That's what we're in. For the most part, just getting my bearings. Canobra still has some fight in it. You make those demons rule the day they came. Sure. Alright. Well, at least they have... right. Jamil Hawks. A strange figure towers over the bar. A huge, ungainly man with skin so milky white that his blue veins are visible even from a distance. His bald head is equal parts lumpy and pitted, and blood-filled eyes stare impassively out at me from beneath his pale brows. The glass in the albino's large, clumsy hands looks dangerously delicate, as if one twitch of those calloused fingers would be enough to crush him. A gold medallion engraved with a tankard gleams around his neck. What will it be? Vampire, is it? Then pour me a glass of whatever you serve our kind here. Jimmel coolly brings out something from under the counter, a flask of cloudy liquid. Here, fresh elf maiden blood, only for our kind. Right. Who are you? The albino slowly takes your measure with his red eyes, and finally, with a gentle sigh, says, Jimmel Hawks, vampire. Item received, potion of inflict serious wounds. Nice. Alright. Hold on a second, I'll check something. How'd you end up in the Crusader City? How did anyone end up here? How did you, or them? With a huge hand, the tavern keeper gestures at the ragtag group assembled in this room. The world is big, but still there isn't a place for everyone. People who no longer have a life anywhere else, they end up here. The medallion you're wearing, that's a sacred symbol, isn't it? Are you a cleric of Cade and Kylene? I'm a tavern keeper, best in the city. The best there's ever been, and I pray to be the best. And I pray to the best God there is. Any news in the city? The albino looks around. There are demons everywhere, and you showed up. Are there any places in the city worth visiting? If you mean places that normal people usually stay well away from, then there's plenty, like the Pataxian wine cellar. Jimmel pauses for effect. Like the name of the place alone should make you quiver in fear. It once belonged to a Pataxian trading house. Then King Erovan came to power in Patax, and property started changing hands. Soon after, the seller's shop assistant was found in a ditch. Not all of him. Mind. Just his head. Numerian gangsters had taken possession of the place. They wanted to sell something stronger than wine on the street, and they ended up on the gallows. Then King Erovetti's number was up. So now the store stands empty and unclaimed. People say that a headless ghost wanders the place at night, moaning ghoulish things. Yeah. Okay. Still coming, getting in there. Alright. After coming to the end of his story, unusually long by his standards, the tavern keeper takes a swig from his tankard. Just don't ask me how he makes any noise with no head. I wasn't there, I just tell it like I heard it. Alright, show me what you have. Alright, first things first. Sell all this in bulk. Is there anything I'd want to keep? Punching dagger, masterwork scimitars. So far, no. Maybe the composite longbow. Yeah, maybe one. That's about it though. I'll take composite over masterwork just for the extra damage. Alright, now what's all this extra stuff I have? Reagents for making scrolls, potions, equipment. The diary's worth 0, so just get rid of it. I don't need it to stay in my inventory for nothing. Let's see. Guess that's more or less it. I'm not gonna keep this scroll of doom. Don't need to hold on to these. Scroll of Bless or the Scroll of Bane. These dreams can go. I'll write down the Scroll of Reduce Person. I'll keep all the inflict wounds things because they're basically just the only way for me to heal. Those and potions of inflict wounds, since they come across rare. Scrolls. Sell those. Sell the Unbreakable Heart. Firebelly Scroll. Yeah, I don't. A lot of these scrolls I really don't need, so I'm just getting rid of. Protection from good. Remove fear. I don't need remove fear because more than half the time I'll probably be in a spot where if I would want to use it, it'll already be too late. The fear effect would keep me from being able to cast the spell. Marching Terror. Let's see. If I remember right, I am going to get a party member that can actually use the glaive, so hold off on that. Let's see. Right, I want to equip that. For now, let's see what we can buy. Potions. Oh, here we go. Bag of Holding. That's going to be good. Spicy Pastry. That's good. Being able to cook anything is always going to be good. do I only have one lockpick left, so maybe I buy that. Alright, before I buy anything else here, aside from this one recipe, we'll hold off on that for now. Copy recipe. Sort of inventory. It'd be nice if I could put all the crafting materials into like one bag or something. Oh. Copy that to spellbook. And let's move on. There's another NPC around that's gonna be able to like sell me the ability to craft scrolls. Just need to find him. Is this the guy? I believe that help is already on the way. The queen will not leave us to die. No, it's not Kyoto. Stutters too much. Citizen survivor. Today we're alive. What about tomorrow? Oh wait. Visalati Raphanis. A stout old man with a fuzzy gray beard mumbles a prayer. He looks as tired as everyone else in the tavern, but determination is stamped upon his haggard face. What can I do for you? Who are you? Visali Raphanis, rector of the local temple of Abaddon. The temple is gone now. And if we snooze here for much longer, the city will be lost as well. Who's that boy with you? This one? Kyoto the shepherd, my apprentice. He's a smart boy, and his faith is strong. He serves Arastor, but there's still something he can learn from an old servant of Abaddon. He'll be a great cleric when he gets a little older. What kind of help can I expect from you? First, I sell scrolls. I have a lot of them. Something for every emergency. Second, while you're here in the tavern, I can read one for you. Guaranteed, no surprises. But you'd better not go into the city without a cleric. I won't be going there myself. I'm too old. And my powers are needed here. Show me the scrolls yourself. I say I need scrolls, but really I need the kit. Where is it? Daredevil boots. Everything else has to take secondary to the ability to actually craft scrolls. Where is it? It's here somewhere. Not scrolls. One bless. First aid kits. Ingredients for crafting the scrolls. It's nice, but where is it? Ah, here we go. Scroll Scriber's Kit. Okay, so if I don't have to actually buy all the Scroll Scriber kits. If I buy the 4th one, I'll be able to scribe up to 4th level spells. And there's no way I'm going to get past level 7 in Canabras. Which makes this kind of a steep cost. But I won't be able to buy any more Scroll Scriber kits until I get... Let me see, I think into Dresden. So, yeah. I'm better off getting this now. Let's see, what else is sold? Ice Protector. The rest of this stuff I can get later. Let's see, what does he have that I want? Lesser extend meta magic rock. No, that's too much. The Ring of Protection is always good. Amulet of Natural Armor. The early game money's kind of sparse, but still, a lot of the items sold here is worth it. Guardian of Life. I don't think I need to worry about making potions. Let's see. Wait, stop. Okay. I'll sell one. One composite longbow. For the alchemist kit level 1. Best case scenario, I'll be able to like get the potions made. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what I need to brew potions, but I can give it a shot. Let's see. Grundalef scales are free reses. Scroll of prayer. Right, is there anything else that's worth grabbing that I could afford? Let's see. We got scrolls. And protection. What does the Guardian of Life do again? As long as the wearer of this amulet is under the effect of the Death Ward spell, they get +2 morale bonus to AC against undead. Well, Death Ward's like 4th level spell, so far this is useless. If they use any single target cure wound spell on the target whose current HP is 0 or less, the target is healed for an additional number of hit points equal to their number of hit dice. I think that's over 10. It might be worth getting when I can cast Death Ward, but until then, nope. Let's see what else we got. More scrolls, one to bless. Ring of Powerful Blood Magic. That is new. I don't remember that. When the wearer of this ring is blood raging and casts a spell. Okay, yeah. So that's like for a very specific class, which is not mine. Daredevil boots. This pair of magical boots shimmers in vibrant shades of blazing red and burning orange when they are held up to the light. These boots allow the wearer to gain extra maneuverability while moving through hazardous areas, while using acrobatics to avoid provoking an attack of opportunity. The wearer gains a +5 competence bonus on mobility checks. And whenever they make a successful mobility check, while the ability is active, they gain a +1 bonus on attack rolls for 1 round. So I need to be running a class that makes mobility checks in the middle of combat. They exist, it's just I'm not using any of them. So yeah, the scroll scriber kit is the best thing I can ask for here. Done. Let's see. Guess before I forget anything, before I do anything else, let's see what I can grab. We're gonna level up the party. First, Sela. One class upgrade made her armor class up to 26. Let's see what else I can do. Trying to think. Maybe. Right, So, Stigmatized Witch has surprising synergy with this. Monks do. Alright, so. One thing about monks, the fighting styles, it turns out, don't actually need me to not be wearing armor. If I pick the right one. Let's see, not the quarterstaff one. Scaled Fist is... Scaled Fist gives armor class bonus. Adds charisma. Oh, when unarmored. Oh, okay, never mind. What about... No, not the Zen Archer. Traditional monk? Let's see. Right. No. I'm thinking. Wait. Maybe this. Yeah, I'll probably go for this. Let's see, what else? These two. These Mask of Rice. Sure. Focus. Wait. Where would I go into this? Indecision. Keeps the best on me. Armor focus. Armor. Yeah. So I'll have her fight defensively from now on, which will increase her AC by a little bit more. Yeah, you don't actually need to be in like unarmed for the crane style. So that works. That works. Alright. Next up, we're gonna level up. Who's next to actually be a good idea? focus on Camellia. Level up her to level 3. I might just go for another, like just keep up with the whole Spirit Hunter. The only question is, what do I give her? Yeah. Let's see. Go for Trickery. Let's go. Probably just Perception again. We'll just go for these two. To grab. Spell Focus. Let's see. Conjuration. I think that's the one because of a lot of her spells. Yeah. Alright, so with Spell Focus Conjuration. This is a Conjuration spell, right? Yep. The new Winter's Grass spell, it's new to me. It's Conjuration. She also has lesser animate dead. Overall, not bad. Alright. We'll call it a day with her. Not much to have to worry about. Next is Windwalk, which again, I'm just going to keep her going for this Child of the Manticore build. It gets its best stuff at level 19. If I just keep her going this one, then it's just good. Like, there's no real downside to getting the level 1 fighter dip and then going full on Shifter Child of the Manticore. Basically, you just get the bonus feat from being a level 1 fighter, and then full on, there's no real punishment for this. It's like, this is actually the ideal way to go for a Child of the Manticore build. Let's see, so up this, up her Perception, and could upgrade the Lore Nature, I guess. No reason not to. Let's see what to go for. Extended Aspects. Add your Wisdom bonus to the number of minutes per day. Okay. I understand the appeal of that. The problem is Windwalk's mental stats are low. It's literally just 1. It's not worth getting the feat. I'm better off just being more conservative with using, the aspect. On another note, though, pick Weapon Focus. I don't need to pick Armor Focus with this. Or Elemental Focus. Let's see. Is there anything else I could grab? Throw Anything. Does Throw Anything even apply to? No. It says it here. bonus made with thrown splash weapons, so it doesn't help with this. Throwing the spikes doesn't do anything. Two-weapon fighting doesn't actually help her. She doesn't suffer a penalty from throwing the spikes. Let's see. I guess, yeah, weapon focus. And where is it? Be nice if I could just say natural weapons and call it a day. But nope. I have to be very specific. So where is it? Does it have the spikes? Sting, tail, time. So which one is it? With spikes. Okay. Is spikes not listed, is it? Touch. That be okay. Maybe it's sting? Let me see here. Oh, here it is. Spike. Yep, we're good. Now her +8 should be... yeah. Alright. Go over to her. She's now throwing them at +9. And what should be the easiest one? Go to a la carte, continue leveling up Crewmancer. Let's see. Level up Persuasion. Religion. Large World Arcana. And yeah. Just stick with that. Then what spell to go for, or what feat to go for. Greater spell focus. Keen armor mastery. No need. Let's see, what else is that? Blood Feaster. Since I already got the... yeah, I got Blood Drinker, so this is the next one up. Whenever you use the Blood Drinker feats, you gain a +2 bonus on damage rolls and +1 athletics checks. Okay, that's more for a melee build. That's more for, like, not focusing on casting. Blue potions. Later. Combat casting. Next one up. Frightening ambush. Soul. Maybe don't need a shield. What do I grab? Spell penetration doesn't really come up until later, so I don't need to rush to get that. Spell specialization. Yeah, just these three? No. Alright, for now, we'll go for greater spell focus into necromancy. If there was a better choice, I don't know what it is. Alright. Oh, wait, no, I know why I should get. Back up. The Arcana and World is nice and all. We're gonna lower all that and get points and use magic device. It's not a class skill, but I really need it. I'll also keep the persuasion up too. Yeah. Okay, now let's go choose it. What spell should I go? I already got Bone Shaker from a scroll, so I'm good there. Is there a non-necromancy spell I want? By comparison, no. I can't pick evocation or divination spells, which I still don't think I'm really losing out. More terror. Isn't this pretty? This is pretty much just the cause fear spell, right? Yep. All right. Haunting mist. Illusion of mist vapor, inhabited by shadowy shapes, rises around you. It is stationary. The illusory mist obscures all sight. Attacks made in the mist or against anything in the mist must contend with total concealment. All creatures within the mist must save or take 1d2 points of wisdom damage and suffer the shaking condition. Well, that's pretty good. Okay. Well, looking into that, what else we got? Command Undead, False Life, Ghoul Touch, Pernicious Poison, and Scare. Like Cause Fear, but more powerful. Alright. Haunting Mist is tempting. That's really tempting. Alright, Pernicious Poison is... So they take a -4 penalty against saves against poison. That's great if I have poison already. But I don't. Ghoul Touch. Imbuing you with negative energy. This spell allows you to paralyze a single living humanoid. For the duration of the spell. For successful melee touch attack. Okay. The paralyzed subject exudes a carrion stench, causes all living creatures except you in a 10-foot radius becomes sickened. Fortitude save negates. A neutralized poison spell removes. Wait, what's the save against this? They just get paralyzed and that's it. If a creature is immune to poison, they're unaffected by this. This is a poison effect. Okay. Sure. Ghoul touch. See, next we have these. Blindness is necromancy. Okay. Bone fist. The bones in your joints grow sharp. Shooting painfully. This is Wolverine. I don't know why they tried. Okay, whatever. Spikes from knuckles, elbows, shoulders. Okay, it's somebody else. Let's see. Targets gain +1 to natural armor, +2 damage rolls with natural weapons, and they deal an additional d6 points of piercing damage on successful grapplings. It's neat. Let's see. Command undead though. Make any undead creature fight on your side as if it were your ally. And it would be for 3 rounds, which is really good actually. Will attack your opponents to the best of its ability. However, intelligent creatures will try to throw off the domination, making a will save each round. But if it's not intelligent undead, then it won't make a will save. Okay. And even if it does, it's one of the reasons I'll have bonuses. Alright, we're gonna take that and run with it. There's an awful lot of spells I actually want from here. Like, if we're going for the multi, like, I want to get the Haunting Mists. Yeah. So we'll settle for this one. Alright. Only other thing to do before I forget is we're going to lock in the spellcasting. We're going to have Bone Shaker be the main spell I'm going to be casting as it does damage. Everything else is like I could argue for or against it. Ghoul Touch works against humanoids. I think I run into more undead. Well, it's not that I run into more undead, it's the undead are going to be the bigger problem going forward right now. Let's see. Instead of having hypnotism, we'll have the touch of gracelessness. That should help more. Let's see, what else? Camellia. Spell she gets to have mandatory for the battle spirit is bull strength, which is fine. Let's see, what else? Protection from alignment for a minute. It's kind of just okay. But yeah, we're going to give her the Winter's Grasp spell. Let's see. Nice and crust the ground. Creatures in the area take a d6 of cold damage each round and suffer a -2 penalty on saving throws against spells, which would include Winter's Grasp. Okay. Oh yeah, with the cold descriptors, yeah, sure. With that in mind, there is a ring I have. Flow of Water. It's a bonus saving throw and adds a +1 to the DC against all ice spells. So yeah, give her that. I could give her the Bone Fist thing. It would just benefit Windwall. If I could start if the undead didn't actually use weapons. Yeah, skeletal champions use weapons, not natural attacks, so that's no good for them. So, although I could have her cast other spells, Winter's Grasp seems to be the way to go. Sela's currently going to be having a 27 armor class, a little higher once I have her using the fighting defensively. Alright, and we're gonna save all that, so I don't have to do all that over again. I'm sure it'll be fine. You can talk to Anivia. Anivia in her muted colors blends almost perfectly into the background. She appears relaxed, but her seemingly unfocused eyes are taking in everything around her, tracking and filtering potential threats. The only tell is the way she drums her fingers on her hip near her weapon sheath. She shows no sign of her injuries and confidently leans on her previously broken leg. She pretends to have just noticed you, even though she watched you approach from afar. Oh, hey. See how they patched me up? Now I can run, jump, or dance a jig if I feel like it. Are there any suspicious places in the city that I should pay attention to? There are a couple of spots I wanted to check out, but I didn't have time. If there really is a den of cultists there, it would be good if you could swoop in there and bust some heads. You don't even need a search warrant. Nevia shoots you a crooked smile. First one is the Silken Thread. It's a funny little tailor shop that doesn't take any orders and never buys any fabric, but they always seem oh so busy. They're busy with something in there, alright, but sewing it ain't. Second one is the alchemy shop, Topaz Solutions. And they trade in everything. Not just healing potions, judging by the ingredients they've been buying on the black market. There's something fishy about the alchemical rituals going down in that place. Alright, tell me about yourself. She shrugs with a lazy smile. I'd be happy to, but there's kinda nothing to tell. What's so interesting about me? Where are you from? Nowhere. I was blown in by the wind and found in a cabbage patch. She stopped short. Sorry, that's an old habit of mine. I don't like blabbing about my past. But you saved my skin, so I guess I kinda owe it to you not to clown around, right? I'm from Nidal, and I wouldn't wish my homeland on my worst enemy. You've heard of the place, I'm sure. Ruled by monsters that aren't alive nor dead, and the official religion is the cult of Zond Kufan. I grew up in a slum, like a weed between the cobblestones. I didn't have a dad, but I had lots of aunts and uncles. my mom's cronies. No prize for guessing the kind of business she was involved in. They gave me a set of lockpicks as soon as I could hold a spoon. And while other kids were picking their noses, I was picking pockets. Nadal. Nadal is one of the oldest surviving countries in Avestan, having been founded during the uncounted years of the Age of Darkness. Even though it is now beholden to the neighboring infernal realm of Cheliax, it retains significant autonomy to pursue its own shadowy goals. In Zongkuthan, the deity Zongkuthan is also known as the Midnight Lord, the Dark Prince, the Prince of Pain, God of darkness, envy, loss, and pain. Possesses one of the most twisted and evil minds in the great beyond. His position as God of Pain is well earned, and he has been the root of countless tortures, murders, and worse throughout time. He was once a benevolent demigod named Dobral, but was corrupted when he traveled to the far dark places between the plains and returned in his current form. His half-sister Shellen still holds out hope that she can redeem him, though the Lord of Shadows shows no sign of remorse or compassion. Right. When I was 12, the monks of the Silent Shroud came for us. Creepy guys with their mouths sewn shut. They're the guards of Nesrock. Mom gave me to her friends, and we hid in a secret temple of Desna. I never saw my mom again. Desna. Desna, also known as the Great Dreamer, Lady Luck, and Mother Moon, goddess of dreams, luck, stars, and travelers, is among the most ancient of deities. While her peers burdened themselves with the task of creating Galarian, she spent her time building the heavens. She knew there would be plenty of time for her and her followers to explore the many wonders of the world later. She has changed little since those earlier days, and she and her followers delight in exploring the world. Alright. I lay low in the temple for the next few years. Kept my head down, I washed floors, fetched water, listened to sermons. Funny thing, after a while I started liking Desna's teachings. But as soon as I was old enough, I was out of there. I left Nadal and got as far away as I could. Quite a ragtag group we've got here. From nobles to street thieves. You got that right. Only the best for you. What do you do if the knights and nobles fail to save the world? The lowlives are our only hope. How did you meet Erebeth? I was bumming around Timon a while back, doing this and that. Desnan temples sometimes gave me odd jobs. You know, sometimes they needed people with skills like mine. On the surface, it was fine, I guess. After Nadal, the freedom of River Kingdoms should have seemed like heaven. My chance to sit back and enjoy life, but I wasn't happy. There just wasn't any joy in my new life. I was all alone. No one cared about me, and I didn't care about anybody either. I struggled to find a reason to drag myself out of bed every morning. Tying a stone around my neck and jumping to the nearest river started to look pretty appealing. Ugh. River Kingdoms. The River Kingdoms have long been a haven for inland pirates, anarchists, exiles, and anyone who cannot seem to make it in more civilized nations. The kingdoms are by no means a unified nation, but rather a constantly shifting group of city-states and fiefdoms, each at war with the others, both to gain more power and prevent their own demise. The river kingdoms are located in the marshy lowlands of the Sullen River Basin, where its three branches combine in their journey south to the inner sea. There are few roads throughout the land, and the branching web of the Sullen and its tributaries provide the primary means of transportation through and within the region. This thing has a lot of big words. One day, I was hired to follow some fellows who the local authorities suspected were Rasmarin spies. I was stupid. I made a rookie mistake and they caught me. It's like my body had already decided to do what my mind had been fighting, to finally put me out of my misery. Get someone else to kill me since I didn't have the guts to do it myself. They grabbed me. I thought they'd gut me on the spot, but instead they hog-tied me and dragged me off. And just like an animal going to the slaughter, my only thoughts was, let's get this over with. Rasmirin. The realm known as Rasmirin was once just another turbulent, violent river kingdom, the Archduchy of Melkat, where leadership changed as often as the years. This ended in 4661. When the land was conquered by Rasmir, a tyrant claiming to have ascended to godhood. They brought me to their stinking cave, threw me on their altar, and I realized who it was. Kuthites. From the doll. They tracked me down, and after all these years. But I didn't care anymore. Wouldn't even have cared if they'd eaten me or whatever. We all gotta go sometime, right? So I was lying there, staring at those knives pointed at me, when fate rolled the dice and I hit the jackpot. Irabeth. There she was, storming into the cave. Kuthites just talks about that. Let's see. Irabeth Cherubade is a valorous paladin of Iomedae and the leader of the Eagle Watch. You first met her during the defense of Canabras, where she held the position of military commander. Picture it. I'm lying on an altar with all these knife-wielding maniacs around me, and suddenly Irabeth storms in. I thought it was Iomedae herself, fierce in her shining armor, with her gleaming sword raised. She made quick work of those scumbags, chopped them up just like that. I didn't even have time to blink. She untied me, and then Anevia's face lights up as she chuckles. She looked through the papers they had on the tables, and she started swearing like a sailor. So much for Iomedae. Oh, hold on a sec. I gotta do something real quick. Now, How did you and Arabeth end up in Canabras? After almost becoming a human sacrifice, I knew I never wanted to leave Arabeth's side. Desna knows I fell for her instantly, and I fell hard. My misery was gone, and when Arabeth showed me what was in those papers, proof that the cultist had a nest in her home city, well, I offered to help without a second thought. Anivia smiles warmly. She must have figured I couldn't wait to get my revenge on the cultists. But I didn't give a damn about them. It was her. I'd go anywhere with her, even on a crusade or into the jaws of a dragon. But I took to life in Canabras like a duck to water. I used to be an outcast wherever I went, but half of the Crusaders are the same. After all, who'd volunteer to tangle with demons on the edge of the abyss? You gotta be either a goody two-shoes with too much honor and free time, or a misfit with no life out in the normal world with normal people. People come here to run away from their debts, their past, from themselves, so I fit right in. What is it like living with Arabeth? It's like living. Without her, I wouldn't be. Seriously, if I were alone, I'd definitely be gone by now. Sure, sometimes we argue, can't deny that. Sometimes we bang our fists on the table and yell so loud that the walls shake. But that's all about order business. But at home, well, I'll give you an example. I've kinda always wanted to move out of that broom closet we call a house and into somewhere cozier. It ain't like they take a vow of poverty at the Eagle Watch. But every month, somehow most of our spare money is spent on Crusader business. Sure, I get mad about it, but Anivia makes a helpless gesture. It's part of why I love her so much. You know, Arabeth has that thing that matters most for a person, a purpose in life. She's always got a reason for whatever she's doing. Her whole life is a crusade, and I just drifted around, like a leaf in the wind until Desna brought us together. Now she's the meaning of my life. So it really makes no difference if we live in a mansion or under a bush. Aw. Thank you for your answers. Thanks for asking. Telling you all this kind of made me feel better. What are your responsibilities in the Eagle Watch? Anivia smiles evasively. Nothing official. I'm not even a knight, you know? I just hang around. You sure you want to know all the details? Catching traitors and spies and cultists is no walk in the park. It's a delicate job. You can't always do it all within the letter of the law. What if we surprise some suspicious blighter with an official search? Everyone will know about it before long, starting with their cronies. Then again, sneaking into people's houses at night ain't exactly legal. Crusaders can't be doing stuff like that, can they? Well, I'm not exactly a knight. She trails off. Oh, I have to go. Alright, you watch yourself now. That... Oh, wait, no. Talk to Camellia. Let's see. Camellia looks at you over pensively, toying with the snake-shaped bone amulet that dangles around her pale neck. Noticing your glance, she flashes you a cold, barely there smile. Greetings. It seems for a moment that she wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long and she slips back into cautious silence. Tell me about yourself. You want to know more about me than you already do? Why? Camellia arches a dainty brow. I talk to the spirits of this tormented land, and they guide me in battle. I'll help you fight the demons, and I swear that you can rely on me in this matter. Isn't that sufficient? Where did you learn to wield a rapier so well? I had good teachers, although they don't get all the credit. I am a most diligent student. Camellia licks her parched lips. Your amulet is quite unusual. Where did you get it? Ah, my little trinket. It's so nice of you to notice, but I assure you, this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things? You're much more relaxed during combat. Your battle cries are uninhibited. She blushes slightly and lowers her eyes. So you've noticed? To be honest, I find it embarrassing. You see, being a shaman means having spirits of battle as my ever-present companions. In the heat of battle, they become rather, vocal. Anyway, as much as I enjoy our delightful conversations, the spirits are calling me, and I must respond. Please excuse me. Camellia turns away, watching you out of the corner of her eye. Okay. I mean, you can just talk to her again like so it's kind of neat. Greetings. The neat smile on Camelia's lips disappears so quickly, you almost wonder if you imagined it. Your speech tells me you are of noble birth. Camellia laughs her practiced musical laugh as she watches you from under lowered lashes. You're most insightful, a fine quality to have. Camelia's laughter ends, and unspoken words hang in the silence. Let's see. Still, I believe that being of noble birth does not give anyone the right to look down on others, and forgive me if my question disturbed you. I couldn't resist such a noble and beautiful lady. Stop bothering you immediately if talking to me upsets you. There's nothing wrong with being a noble. People are born equal. Well, I suppose we all have our good and bad qualities. What the fuck? I'm also a noble, so I guess we'll go the flirting one. Forgive me if my questions disturb you. I couldn't resist such a noble and beautiful lady. I will stop bothering you immediately if talking to me upsets you. Not at all. Our conversation is an exquisite delight. Camellia affords you a brief, friendly smile in appreciation of your manners. I have to go. We'll talk later. I won't keep you. The dawning smile on Camelia's face freezes and quickly dies away.
I'll go ahead.
We still had some fun in it. Oh, right. I almost forgot. I did get this one cloak from Staunton last playthrough. Last time I was on. Cloak of Unbending Rose, a +3 to will saves. See, my current saves are +5 Fortitude, +3 Reflex, and +4 to Will. It's now +6. We'll try to focus on making sure we have a decent will save. The main reason being is like if any spells if anything keeps me from acting, I'm basically screwed. Being a melee caster and all. Also need to focus on. I need to look at what feats help me cast safely in melee combat. I'm gonna talk to Sela. Right. Sela smiles at you warmly. Hey there. During that march through the dungeon, we never got the chance to exchange a proper greeting. It's high time I shake your hand. I'd like to know more about you. Of course, ask anything. I'll answer honestly. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from? I'm a little bit from Geb, a little bit from Katapesh, but mostly from the Knights of Iomade. I was accepted and began my training at 14. I belong to their ranks more than I belong to any other place. You've come to Mendef by a long road, haven't you? A very long one. Sela looks at you cheerfully. A traveler is expected to have amusing stories. Unfortunately, I have only 3 tales of any interest, and I'd like to save them for our next feast. Otherwise, I won't have anything to show for myself when it's time to start bragging. And that just won't do. Especially since I'll win the night with my cautionary tale of a battle with chupacabras. Let's see. Isn't your attitude toward life and war too carefree, especially for a paladin? I don't have to be lawful with this run. And I don't particularly want to chastise anybody for not being a paladin. Alright. Hold on, let me grab a drink. I don't know how people can talk so much without stopping and taking a drink every once in a while. Alright. You can't tempt me with a story about fighting chupacabras and then not follow through. What are chupacabras, by the way? Incredibly repulsive magical beasts. Fast and dangerous. They can... Well, it looks like someone's fooled me into starting the tale. I guess now I'll have to tell the whole story. Picture a small town in Quadira, and down in the dungeon there's 2 murderers waiting to be executed. The gallows are already built for them. The rope's been bought, but sometimes life takes a surprising turn. Suddenly a paladin of Iomade appears in the doorway and offers the murderers a deal. If they go with her to fight some monsters, they'll live. If they survive, that is. Quadira, the westernmost satrapy of the Padishah Empire of Kalesh. Quadira is a kingdom with the power of the sprawling empire at its back. Quadira is Kalesh's doorway to the inner sea region, and is perhaps the single most valuable piece of real estate on Galarian. Alright. There's a big difference between imminent death and probable death with a glimpse of hope, wouldn't you say? So here we are traveling through the desert, me and my friend, a priestess of Serenray, along with the little rat folk fellow who asked for our help, and the 2 cutthroats. We get to the rat folk village and see their bodies lying around, all drained dry. We figured we'd have to fight vampires. That's how the little rat folk described the monsters who attacked their village. That's why we went in all brazen light. The sun was high, and the vampires couldn't attack until dusk. But we never got a chance to look around. Black shadows, quick as the wind, attacked us from all sides. Not vampires, but chupacabras. One of the lads we pulled from the gallows got killed right away. The second one ran for his life. That left me, the Ratfolk, and Kira. That was the name of the priestess. And we all steeled ourselves for the fight of our lives. And just when we thought the end had come, with the chupacabras surrounding me like a pack of dogs around a bear, our Ratfolk friend wounded and down, and the teeth of the quickest of those blasted monsters clenched on Kira's shoulder. Right then, when all hope was lost, the other lad from the gallows suddenly comes running back. He kills the beast attacking Kira. I'm sure you know what a turning point in a fight looks like. Well, this was it. A moment before, we were lost, and a moment later, we had it back under control. The chupacabras dropped dead, one by one. The little Ratfolk is reunited with his family, who are hiding in the basement. The priestess and I closed the eyes of the boy from the gallows who saved us. It was a shame he didn't survive the fight. May the gods keep his soul in its journey through the afterlife. Evil. Your savior was a fool. He could easily have fled. If he was a fool, I like that sort of foolishness. More than cold, merciless calculation. Had it not been for that mercy, Milos, that was his name, would be hanging from a noose, and me, Kira, and all the Ratfolk would be dead in that village. Someone told me that a kind deed done by an unkind person is 100 times more precious. By the same token, an evil deed done by a noble soul is 100 times more horrifying. That's what I really wanted to say. The chupacabras were just a good starting point. Still sucks. You do the right thing and you die for it. Nope. What made you become a paladin of Iomedae? Huh. Sela's gaze sharpens momentarily, then she sighs. That's a serious question and a good one. You should ask it of your companions. But it's a long story. To start with, 12 years ago, I was nothing like the person I am now. I roamed the streets of Solku and the other homeless orphans. I stole, I fought, I was a hired sword for a bit. Not the proper origin for a paladin, is it? Wait, she says she was with the knights at the start of the age of 14. If that was 12 years ago, roughly, that means Sela is 26? Sure. Back then, Solku was a city of orphans, widows and widowers. Gnolls decimated the city regularly. My parents were among their victims. People there heard about new deaths before they'd finished mourning their previous losses. One day, a group of Knights of Iomade brought a glimmer of hope into the city. But while others saw them as saviors and protectors, I was busy pricing up their noble horses and their gleaming mithril armor, wondering just how much one of their pretty swords would fetch. A thief lives one day at a time. That's what they say. I was the type that never fought past the next job. Anyhow, I was able to sneak into the knight's camp and steal one of their mithril helms. Sela pauses, her voice sad and measured. And I was right there when a gnoll attacked the helm's owner. Asimi was her name, and dealt a blow to her unprotected head. A gnoll like all those others she'd fiercely driven from the gates of Solku. That one blow was fatal, but who was really to blame for her death? The gnoll attacker or the young thief named Sela? I know what it takes to survive. Sometimes I can't judge you. Awful. Even a seemingly small mistake can have terrible consequences. Let's see. Life is cruel and full of chaos. Sometimes survival just comes down to luck. You couldn't have known the consequences of your actions. Let's see. What can we go for here? I guess I'll say, yeah, go for the chaos. Life is cruel and full of chaos. Sometimes survival just comes down to luck. So that's how you see it. Sela looks at you with curiosity but no hostility. I can't accept that point of view. If the story of my youth taught me anything, it's that we're all accountable for our actions. It's too easy to wave off responsibility if you use the cruelty of life as an excuse. But you were asking what brought me into the ranks of Iomade's warriors. We all choose the paladin's path for our own reasons. Some are guided by nobility of spirit, some by a desire to fight injustice. I became who I am through penance and a debt unpaid. The day Asimi died, protecting my city, I wanted to kill myself for the terrible guilt I felt. But then I realized it wouldn't make the world any better, and I decided that instead I'd try to take her place. I'd become who she had been, and protect the innocents that she would no longer be able to protect. Excuse me. Alright. What are the principles that paladins of Iomade follow? Sela smiles. I'll tell you. I like to recite our code. It feels like I've said it 1,000 times, but it never gets old. There is strength in these words. After a pause, she begins, her voice slow and meditative. I will learn the weight of my sword. Without my heart to guide it, it is worthless. My strength is not in my sword, but in my heart. If I lose my sword, I have lost a tool. If I betray my heart, I have died. I will have faith in the inheritor. I will channel her strength through my body. I will shine in her legion, and I will not tarnish her glory through base actions. I am the first into battle and the last to leave it. I will not be taken prisoner by my free will. I will not surrender those under my command. I will never abandon a companion, though I will honor sacrifice freely given. I will guard the honor of my fellows, both thought and deed, and I will have faith in them. When in doubt, I may force my enemies to surrender, but I am responsible for their lives. I will never refuse a challenge from an equal. I will give honor to worthy enemies, and content to the rest. I will suffer death before dishonor. I will be temperate in my actions and moderate in my behavior. I will strive to emulate Iomede's perfection. If she's so perfect, how come we're in this mess because of Discari? Ha. I mean, don't get me wrong, the majority of the oath is fine. And I think it trips at the finish calling Iomade perfect. Thank you. I've learned everything I wanted to know. I hope I didn't bore you. Ask me something else if you like. Erebeth said your friend Jana Aldori is missing. Do you know where I should look for her? Oh, hey Tormented Salad. Glad you can make it. For the most part, I am just doing story beats in Defender's Heart of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. And just talking to companions. Where should we look for Jana? Erebeth is worried about her fighters. I understand that. I wanted to look for Jana myself, so I didn't distract you. But since you're in this too, I could use some help. Jana and I met in Canabris a few days ago, and just hit it off. We went drinking together. We went to that unforgettable celebration together too. But we got separated in the crowd. So we should start looking from the main square. That's where I last saw her. Sela frowns. Jana's a good fighter even if she is green. She couldn't have become an Aldori otherwise. I hope that means she's alright. The balance patch for Battlegrounds came out. Buff Max. He reverted the nerf on the Naga, but made her a tier 6 minion. Making Duke Finn a tier 6 instead of tier 5. And young Murkrai. Well, they got a balanced game somehow. Alright. The whole point of a balanced patch is if you only see the same decks being used all the time, then you gotta change something up, otherwise the game gets stale. Alright, what do you think? Let me continue this. What do you think of what's going on in Canabris? It's complete chaos. It's lucky we're here to handle it, right? Sela smiles brightly. Then she gives you a worried look. Does the way I talk bother you? I know I can seem blasé. Many good people and our protector Terendelev died here in Canabras. A paladin of Iomedae is expected to be properly respectful and sullen. But I prefer to face my troubles with a smile and a bit of common sense. Grief is a weapon they'll use against you. It can undermine a warrior's spirit. It's better we hold off on grief until we've driven the last demon and cultists from the city. Okay, people who seem blasé in like real situations of crisis, I get. But if it was like someone acting blasé at like a D&D table, like it kills immersion. So it kind of sucks. Alright, let me see. Okay, if we want to win, we can't be mourning our deceased day and night. Plus, joy heals the soul. Huh, sure. Lawful. There's wisdom in the traditions of mourning, and one shouldn't reject them. All the more so if inappropriate merriment could offend other mourners. Many people's loved ones perished in Canabras. I'm not bothered by how you talk. What matters is how you fight. Okay, no, I'm gonna go for the lawful one. There's wisdom in the traditions of mourning, and one shouldn't reject them. All the more so if inappropriate merriment could offend other mourners. Many people's loved ones perished in Canabras. Sela sighs. You may be right. I should keep myself in check more. Better discipline, more self-control qualities suited for a paladin. More or less. Alright, now you're talking about the Murloc build that got nerfed? Let's see. Magic Fin is a Murloc that gives you a 1/1 Murloc that copies the first spell you buy in a turn. The guy played a battle cry next to him at the end of the turn. If he's golden, he plays both sides. And they also charged the new Murloc guy to the start of turn. Change. Start of turn instead of end of turn. Nerf the Undead Carapace build scaling 2, but reduce the tier of the friendly Geist so it gets up 9 slightly faster and scales slower. They buffed Undead attack scaling builds by making a nub Arak tier 3 instead of tier 4. I don't know what a nub Arak is, but okay. Yeah, it just sounds like too many people were using the same strats, and so they wound up nerfing them. Honestly, the problem is the concept of a build like that is too hard to make weak. They'd be better off giving off abilities that would help clear boards. But I can see the problem with making decks able to clear off boards full of powerful units. Alright, let's see. Continuing on my conversation with Sela. Let's see. Boards isn't a thing. Yeah, well, it's an auto battler. Ah. So there is no removal spells. You build your board, then they attack randomly, and it's restored to normal after. Alright. Is fighting demons all you want, or are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming the hero of 100 ballads? Or at least a dozen, if they're lively ones. Sela's eyes shine cheerfully. Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the World Wound is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve good. Being part of the crusade is reward enough for me. But there's something that worries me. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing my brothers in arms, but the Eagle Watch and the other orders are focused on just one aim. The war against the World Wound. That's why they can sometimes overlook the smaller things. Ordinary misfortunes, you know? I always liked being a wandering knight because any moment I could get up and go help a poor ratfolk whose family had been kidnapped, or an old woman whose favorite dog had gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big important goal, but I'll be happy to help those who need it. A little bit here and there. Awesome. Alright. Thank you for speaking with me. Until next time. See the smiles. See you. Alright. We're gonna see. Between combats, you shop for new minions and spells to help. Tavern gets larger too with every even upgrade. Starts at 3 minions plus 1 spell at tier 1. Then tier 2, 4 minions, 1 spell. Tier 4 is 5 minions, 1 spell. And tier 6 is 6 minions plus spell. It costs gold to upgrade the tavern too. Cost to upgrade goes down by 1 each turn. So there's optimal times to upgrade it. Sounds neat. Alright, we're gonna talk to Erebeth now. Alright. Erebeth rubs her red and tired eyes. Any success? How's the city? Oh, for anyone who comes by wondering, the main reason I'm on this run is my brother requested me to make a playthrough of the Lich, and he said he liked it better when I tried to voice act the characters. So I'm doing my best to do that. So I will try to talk like the characters as best I can. The best I can think for half orcs is to emulate the tusks. Just speak while emulating the tusks. You know. They all sound like that because, you know, they basically have like, it's like having like holding fingers into the corners of your mouth, and that's all half orcs. It's the easiest way to do it for me. Alright, what is our main objective? You heard what the demon said. You're going to desecrate the World Wound and blow up the barrier around the World Wound. That would be an even worse disaster than the World Wound expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canobris, but every city in the Wardstone with a Wardstone will be destroyed, including the capital. We can't allow that no matter what. We will retake the city, even destroy it if we must. Almede's gift must not become a weapon of the Abyss. I think she said the same thing earlier, but with voice acting. Wardstones, what are they? Alright, I'm not going to reread it if it's already something she said earlier. Yeah, she already answered this. Allow me to ask a few personal questions. Frowning a little, frowning a little, Erebus nods. Please, but I must warn you, there are some things I don't have the right to discuss. Where are you from? I was born in Canabas. I grew up on a farm just outside it, but my way back home lay at the end of a long and winding road. It took me years of traveling through foreign lands before I came to be where I have always belonged. How did you become a paladin? A bitter smile appears on the half-orc's face. I don't much like to remember, believe it or not. The story of how I became a paladin is also the story of how I failed to become a knight. My parents were crusaders. May their souls stand together in Iomede's celestial army. When I was born, they retired from the war and started preparing me to continue their legacy. But my father was an orc. You'd be pressed to find a calmer, wiser, and more pious servant of the goddess than he. But still, all his life, he was dogged by sideways looks and whispers. When I grew older and it was time for me to serve, I decided anywhere but Canabas. That was where my father had served loyally, and his only reward had been injustice. Besides, the witch hunters, led by the Honorable Prelate Holron, stalked the city with a heavy hand. Who knows what they'd have done to a strange girl with green skin. Instead, I went to a smirk that looks more like a painful grimace crosses her face. You can laugh if you want, but I was young and foolish. I chose Lastwall of all places. You can imagine how well I was accepted in a country that's been battling the orcs of Belskin since its foundation. Yeah, the Mendevian witch hunts. I already read that. I think. I read about probably Holman. Let's see. Nope, I didn't. Mendevian witch hunts. During the First Crusade, holy warriors streamed into Mendev. They were encountered where they encountered Sarkorians, practicing their unique druidic faith. The Crusaders mistook the wooden idols and rustic rituals for evidence of demonic influence. Groups of witch hunters emerged from the disorganized chaos of the First Crusade. These witch hunters were often self-styled, their tactics little more than brutal trial and error. The least bit of evidence could mark a target for investigation: a clubbed foot, a thick accent, or even a suspicious absence of abnormalities. The witch hunter groups gained reputations for being cruel and arbitrary, although these weren't always deserved. Demons ranged freely across the world wound and often spilled into Mendev. Demonic possession did happen, though not nearly as often as the witch hunters claimed. Genuine witch hunters used divination magic and cautious investigation to draw out and destroy fiends, but they were rare compared to the zealous inquisitors who burned the innocents at the stake. With the advent of the Fourth Crusade, the authorities took strong measures to end the bloody witch hunts of Mendev. Since then, the frequency of hunts has dropped considerably. In Belskin, Hold of Belskin. While orcs can be found throughout Galarian, nowhere else are they as plentiful or live in as densely populated settlements as in the Hold of Belskin. Belskin is an unforgiving wasteland filled with shrub brush, steep mountains, and uneven badlands, where water is scarce and generally limited to the seasonal flood mode. There were many there like me, but we were all treated as second-class citizens. To the locals, my green skin was worse than leper scabs. Even my brothers in faith kept their distance. I took my vows, and the goddess granted me the powers of a paladin, but even then, not a single order would accept me into their ranks. I spent another 6 months knocking on doors before I realized the simple truth. I serve Iomade, not these people. I don't have to prostrate myself before them. So I left. As a paladin, but not a knight. Things are bound to be tough for you too. Most common folk fear death and hate the undead even more than they do orcs. I'm sure you're no stranger to sideways looks and whispers behind your back. Huh. So she's fully aware that I'm a Dhampir. Or she thinks I'm undead, period. It's not like it's... I guess it's not like my character's trying to make it a secret. Alright. How did you come to join the Knightly Order? I left Lostwell and went traveling. The goddess guided me, and my path... And my path led me to where atrocities were happening. I often fought in exchange for gold, but never for unworthy aims, of course. I wandered the River Kingdoms for a few years, killing monsters and tracking down criminals. Sometimes I thought I was just wasting time, that my true place was in Canabras. But I pushed those thoughts away. I didn't even want to think about going back. But in the end, divine providence had brought me to my senses. It happened in Taiwan. I was tracking a gang of bandits which my employer suspected was a cover for Rasmiran spies. I managed to find their lair. But inside, I found something far more dangerous than spies, an unholy temple to Zon-Kuthon. When I broke in there, the cultists were about to sacrifice someone, the person who was destined to become my wife, Anethia. But that's another story. After I cut down the cultists, I examined their papers and couldn't believe my eyes. A network of evil cults had spread through all of Avestan, including Mendev. Worse, the documents clearly showed that their allies, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, had infested my native Canabras, and were even among the ranks of the Paladins. After that, delaying my homecoming would be tantamount to desertion. Luckily, I was no longer alone. Anethia was eager to destroy the cultists as I was. Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. Pledging their lives to Baphomet, These cultists scheme to subvert the good works of the Crusaders. They cause trouble in Crusader camps, instigating fights and egging participants on to greater violence. They spread lies and sow the seeds of fear with voices sweetened by magic. Some have even assumed the roles of holy crusaders and risen in the ranks of other knightly orders, waiting for the moment when their treachery can be used to achieve the most foul end. Anifia and I hurried to Canabras. We couldn't trust anyone. The papers indicated that the cultists had infiltrated everything. Luckily, I had some experience in investigation, and my beloved, the half-orc, smiles warmly. She knew her way around working locks, tailing people, and trading information with the city's bottom feeders. Soon we defeated, alas, not the whole Hydra, but a few of its heads. Do you know who turned out to be the leader of the cultists? The commander of the Eagle Watch. Can you imagine? While Prelate Holram was chasing witches through the city, the enemy had infiltrated the very order responsible for internal security. The scandal reached the ears of the Queen. At first, she planned to disband the order in disgrace. But then she offered its command to me, and put its salvation in my hands. Of course, there was one small catch. I wasn't a knight. But I was made commander just the same, skipping the usual progression through the ranks. Religion check passed. I can't imagine the followers of Zon Kufan in alliance with demon worshippers. Shouldn't they hate each other? They should. But Baphomet's minions are masters of deception. They manipulate Zon Kufan's butchers as eagerly as Iomede's knights. The cultists from the unholy temple didn't know the true face of their associates in Canabras. We ourselves learned the truth much later, after getting to the bottom of their nest. How did the people of Canabras feel about your background? They tolerated it surprisingly well. I shouldn't have been so wary. Crusaders don't tend to be prejudiced as a rule. After all, heroes from all over the world, even from other continents, come here to fight the demons. Apparently, the people were only suspicious of full-blooded orcs. There were already many like me here, and we don't have any problems. Though the locals do have their superstitions, Mendav is as merciless as last war. They just have a different set of victims. I kept seeing the same sideways looks and scowls, hearing the familiar whispers. But where once they used to whisper behind my back and point at me, now they whisper in my ear and point at someone else. It's so strange. To be on the other side of humiliation, to wipe the spit from your face and suddenly be invited to change position and spit at someone else. You must have figured out by now that I'm talking about tieflings. It's true there are many of them among the cultists, and few among our crusaders. And our fighters do all they can to drive away those who would be our allies. People shun them, call them Arilu's spawn or worse, as if they chose to be born like that. I believe it's quite a feat to rise against the all of one's blood and join the forces of good. Still, most only see them as the enemy. I once saw a knight bleeding to death because he wouldn't let a tiefling priest touch his wound. Alas, I haven't been able to change this in all my time with the Tell me about Anivia. We met in Taimon as I was wandering aimlessly from one ordeal to another. We returned to Cannabis together to expose the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. The day the Queen knighted me was the second happiest day of my life. The first was the day of our wedding. But Anivia isn't just my beloved, she's my staunchest ally. We share every victory and defeat. The best of me is alive thanks to her. Thank you for saving her back then. The day Cannabis fell before her return, the only thing giving me strength to protect the defender's heart was the hope that I'd see her again. We are in your debt. Thank you for your answers. Erebeth nods without saying a word. Tell me about the Eagle Watch. It was a small order created to fight not only demons but also the enemy within, to maintain the purity of the paladin ranks, prevent heresy, and identify spies. And it failed miserably at that. The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth infiltrated it and formed their nest within its ranks. After the Queen entrusted me with leading the order, Anivia and I practically built it from scratch. We got rid of the dead weight, people who weren't committed. We organized ways to transmit messages and orders safely. We introduced reliable ciphers. We found tacit allies around the city, from crusader orders to street beggars. This was my personal crusade, to purge the city of the Templars who had infested it, and I thought I was winning. I could feel it. We were so close to driving out the cultists of Cannabis, but Erebeth frowns. It's hard to admit, but those successes didn't count for much once the demons entered the city. See. Success? When we got up to the surface, there were more cultists in the city than crusaders. Exactly. That means nothing comes together and fight. No. We'll go for this. On the contrary, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a headquarters at the Defender's Heart. The cultists would have served up the city on a platter to the demons. The lines on Erebeth's forehead softened. Yes, that's true. It's a good thing we achieved something. Thank you. Right, I have to go. Go. May I on the day keep you safe. Man, it's hard to do that. Okay. Hello. A tall, athletic man greets you. His hair is prematurely gray and shorn close to his head in a military style. He is lean and well-groomed, and a monocle twinkles coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaw and his large but agile frame attest that here is a man who is always ready to be on the move. Greetings. I'm Hiller, Venture Captain of the Pathfinder Society. I'm the superior officer among Pathfinders in this region of Mendez. However, the Society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there is almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm only stuck here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper known as the Spinner of Nightmares. I've had to work alone without the support of the Society, but I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for an honest cause, talk to me. Tell me about your confrontation with the Spinner. I can do that later. Tell me more about you. Yeah. What exactly are you interested in? I am a common Pathfinder. There are many others like me. Fate and my orders brought me to this land. Pathfinder Society. The Pathfinder Society is a globe-spanning organization based in Absalom. The membership consists primarily of Pathfinders, adventurers who travel throughout Golarion, usually inconspicuously, and explore, delve, and otherwise experience the lesser-seen parts of the world. They send journals documenting their travels back to their venture captains, who also assign them new missions and suggest new places to explore. The most exciting and illuminating of these journals are compiled in the Pathfinder Chronicles, an ongoing series of books that collect the history and mystery of Golarion for its membership and the general public. How did you end up here? I was working on an assignment for the Pathfinder Society, and then a demon worshipper named the Spinner of Nightmares abducted my daughter Lori. For the past 3 years, I've been trying to save her. During this time, I've become a specialist in scouting demon territory. I've even planted agents among the cultists. Truth be told, in pursuing the Spinner of Nightmares, I've been acting more on behalf of Queen Galfrey than the Pathfinder Society. It's a long story, but I'll tell you the rest of it sometime. Hiller frowns grimly. This Spinner of Nightmares is a true spawn of the Abyss. I've fought her many times, but I've never been able to seize her by the throat. Unsolved mysteries. Welcome back. Solved the greatest left. I'm not reading that. I'm unsolved. I'm doing alright. How are you? Let's see. I'm basically just going through a lot of dialogue in this area. Alright. Tell me about your daughter. He smiles, showing his healthy white teeth. As a girl, Lowry was just an angel. Who lost her mother early on. She was left to follow my example, a drifter with little idea how to talk to a 10-year-old girl. But even with such questionable parenting, Lowry managed to grow into a wonderful girl. Brave, smart, beautiful, and entirely unbearable. She's always argued with me about everything. When Lowry was 18 and told me she was going to be a Pathfinder, all I said was, alright. I knew there was no use to try to talk her out of it, and she was a fine Pathfinder. Hiller's fists clench with a painful sounding crack. I'll never forgive the Spinner of Shadows for taking my girl from me. Alright, just binge watching cartoons. still somehow remember. Hey, alright. Now that you mentioned, I have a backlog of stuff I was supposed to be watching too, but I never got around to. I should really get to that. I'll do it later. Right. Tell me about the Pathfinder Society. The Pathfinder Society is a global organization that unites opportunists and adventurers of all kinds. We explore the world and uncover its secrets, travel, and sometimes face down threats. In times of trouble, the latter becomes our primary focus. We're driven by curiosity and the desire to make the world a better place. And, of course, some seek profit or hunger for glory. But in any case, it's hard work. They might send you anywhere on a mission. Weaklings have little place in the society. It's more for seasoned fighters. There are society lodges in many cities. The closest one is in Nerosian. They're each led by venture captains, lads like me. The Grand Lodge is in Absalom, the center of the world. The Decemvirate sits there, the anonymous council of our leaders. Alright, you got no more questions. If you have any questions, come to me. Wait, I thought, well, screw it, Dragon Tales it is. Dragon Tales? The new archetype that's being released in Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a show? Well, I mean, I thought the Chronicles thing was still on the Dogmatica series, but okay, sure, why not? Alright, let's see what else. I don't need... Tell me about your confrontation with the Spinner of Shadows. It all began with a task of the Pathfinder Society. I arrived in Nerosian with my team to investigate the sudden death of a famous crusader, Baron Falrun. We soon focused in on a small hospital for the wealthy, where Falrun was being treated shortly before his death. It turned out that a gang of Baphomet's cultists, calling themselves the Labyrinth of the Mind, had gotten a foothold at the hospital. They were obsessed with twisting the minds of their victims and targeted fragile people too weak to resist. The hospital was filled with perfect victims, isolated for weeks from the outside world, completely helpless. And when they returned, they were different, almost normal. But the moment they heard a certain phrase, something dark awoke in their mind, and they transformed into servants of Baphomet, ready to lie, betray, and even kill. The Labyrinth of Mind was preparing to infiltrate all the elite circles of Mendev, but Baron Fallen stopped him. He was too loyal to his oath, and too resistant to their spells. He fought for his freedom until the strain broke his heart. We opened and cleaned the city of Baphomet's pit of vipers. Their den was a cradle of sin and filth. They cast spells on each other, and their loathsome fantasies stepped real from their minds into the world. They dreamt of horrible and forbidden things, and they fought like mad. We burned the place to the ground and slaughtered everyone we could, but the leaders of the cult were able to flee, and they were set upon revenge. They abducted my daughter Lowry, who served under my command in the Pathfinder Society. They left me a note full of tart insults, mockery, and sneers. From that note I learned the name of my enemy, the Spinner of Nightmares. A few months later, I confirmed that she was the leader of the labyrinth of mine. My hunt had begun. I would get Lowry back at any cost. Hiller grits his teeth with building determination. Experienced fighters. Hold on, my lads. But you'll have to pay them $4,500. It's their standard. Nope. Unacceptable. Sorry, but the society has established universal rates to avoid competition between pathfinders of different countries. My companions and I need good training. You'll get a great mentor from Absalom. For the first few times, he'll train your fighters free of charge. Never mind. Works for me. Alright, Windwalk. Windwalk's tense stance reveals her constant vigilance. Her eyes are focused and resolute. Noticing you, she lets you speak first, bowing respectfully. Master, I am at your service. I want to know more about you. The underground warrior looks flattered, raising her chin proudly. You can ask me anything, Master. What do you think of life on the surface? Windwalk scoffs arrogantly. Life among the uplanders, you mean? Your customs are strange. The huntress casts a glance at you and corrects herself quickly. I mean theirs, not yours, Master. You are strong and clever. But I look at the other uplanders and wonder. Have you seen how proud they are of their weakness? Look, my hands are soft. I've never done anything with them in my entire life, because noble blood runs through my veins. What does it matter who someone's parents are? I'm the daughter of the former chief of the tribe, so what? Is this what they respect and fear me for? Sol became the chief because he was old, experienced, and smart. After him, I might become the chief, because I'm strong and even smarter. But these weaklings wouldn't have lasted a day in our caves. Windowog's eyes narrow warily. Everything is strange here. But it's alright, Master. We'll put things right, won't we? Tell me about your life in the caves. Life was better than an uplander might think. You're surrounded by rock on all sides. It's sturdy, dependable. When you hide in a crack, you know for sure you're safe. Not like here. All this empty space around you. You always have to be on guard, in case an arrow flies from any direction and hits you. Life underground is calmer somehow. Sure, there's less food in the caves than here, but the amount of food the uplanders have, it's too much. Don't you see, Master, how many fat uplanders there are? Why do they eat so much? Like cattle fattened up to make for tastier meat. We only had one fat person in our tribe, and that was Sol. And he was only fat because he was old. But up here, everything just seems fairer in the caves. When there isn't enough food for the weak, they die. The lazy die. The sick in the head and the body die. Only the strong and the skilled survive, and the blood becomes thicker, tougher. What happened between you and Lan? Windwalk shrugs disdainfully. He is a good hunter, but not too clever. A bit of an idiot, really. He was the strongest in the tribe after me. That's why I kept him close. His heart is soft, unlike his body. The huntress smiles shamelessly. But then I met you and I didn't need land anymore. Now I only want to hunt with you. I can tell you're proud of your strength. Windwalk throws her shoulders back proudly. Of course. Let everyone see who is standing before them. The weak must obey the strong if they don't want to be reminded of their place. Even when I was a snot-nosed little cave rat, I could bring Neathers, twice my age, to heal. Because I fear nothing and no one. Pain least of all. I was showered with praise and compliments. The best hunters of the other tribes wanted me. But what did that matter to me? The moment you start listening to flattery is the moment you get soft and you die. No, I always pushed myself further, challenging myself, taking myself to the very edge. Many times I almost died, but I always came back stronger. I earned all my strength on my own, and if anyone didn't respect that, I just grabbed my knife. That's why I became the best hunter in the tribe. On the surface, your people are called mongrels, but I take it you don't like that term? The huntress shrugs her shoulders. Let the uplanders call us whatever they want. It doesn't matter. I know what they're trying to do. By giving us that stupid nickname, they are asserting their status and superiority over us. But it's normal to try and dominate a stranger you just met. That's expected. When my kin conquer the lands on the surface, people will call us by whatever name we choose. Why do you serve me? Windowog gives you a bland smile. Because you are winning. And I want to be with the winner. I don't like sharing food and fire with weaklings. I prefer people like you. And also because being close to you is a good way to live. I love life. I'm young and strong. It makes sense to eat, drink, screw, and kill enemies while you are young. Not when you are 30,000 gongs old and shriveled up like salt. As long as I'm your servant, I can have fun as I like and order around anyone I want. Who will defy me? No one. Her eyes drift half closed in smug satisfaction. Evil, kill for me, and you will get everything you've been dreaming of. Windwalk shoots you a feral grin. It's good we understand each other, Master. As we Nephas say, we hunt in the same cave. Everything is clear to me now. Windwalk lowers her head, bowing much lower than is customary. Your interest gratifies me, Master. Let's talk about you serving Hosilla. Uncertainty sparks in Windwalk's eyes, and she curls her spider legs on her back closer to her body. Of course, Master. But now I only serve you. Has someone said something about me? What did you do for the demons? I brought my kin to their lair so they could join the demon army and accept the power given to them. I made my tribe stronger. Later, once we no longer needed the demons, my powerful kin would have fought for me. The huntress shoots you a grim and bloodthirsty grin. Aren't you ashamed of betraying your kin? Windowog replies respectfully but defiantly. I know that Sol would have called me a traitor. But for one reason only. He grew old and cowardly. I accepted the same fate as my fellow tribesmen. I ate the flesh too, and for many gongs I thrashed with fever, growling like an animal, lunging at anyone and everyone, my body burning from the inside. But I handled it because I am the strongest of them all. Not a single day have I regretted the power I gained. And that's why I am not ashamed of sharing that power with my tribe. Why did you decide to switch allegiance? I was only serving the demons because they promised me power, and only for as long as they had something to offer me. Windwalk chuckles, revealing her sharp teeth. But Hosilla can't offer me anything now she's dead. And I was never going to risk my life for her. You are a true leader, one worth following. The huntress says in a fawning tone. How can I trust you? Windwalk's voice gains a fervent edge. Why would I betray you, master? You are the strongest. It would be stupid to defect to your enemies and die along with them. No, I am not that dumb. I have no more questions. It's good that our paths crossed. You could need a good servant, and I need a strong master. Please stop groveling. Windwalk shakes her head. I'm not groveling. I'm showing respect for your power. This is exactly how the weak should behave in the presence of the strong. You promised me an army of Mongols. Windwalk narrows her cat-like eyes. And I will... Excuse me. Doing this voice is not all that easy. And I will give you one, master. But first, we have to rebuff the attack on the city. Sol has spent his entire life preparing for the underground crusaders' return to the surface, and he's not going to take any risks. He will order the tribes to hide in the caves like rats, and he will decide whether they are strong enough to fight side by side with us. Maybe he will decide that it's better to sit this one out and wait for another chance to come along. We have to fend off the demons, win a glorious victory, and show Sol that ours is not a lost cause. Then he will give us his warriors. And then it will be my job to turn them into real soldiers. Okay, that's it for now. The huntress gazes at you with devotion. Thank you for talking to me, master. And that's it. Alright, going on up this way. Looks like it's just a couple of things. Oh, more crafting stuff. Peasant survivor, how did this fall so easily? What are the paladins doing? Amadei, our intercessor, don't abandon us in our despair. Let's see. Yep, they're not really saying anything new. The survivors say pretty much the same thing as a lot of the paladins do, except the part about complaining about the paladins. Journal. A young man in well-worn traveling clothes and a simple wooden symbol of Rastal on his chest is efficiently cutting a linen robe into strips to use as bandages. Despite his visible exhaustion, he works with zeal, singing some tune about red braids and ripe sheaves of wheat under his breath. He raises his warm chestnut-colored eyes to you. Are you one of the Crusaders? Thank you for defending those of whose talents lie off the battlefield. I'm Janaug, servant of Erastil. Pleased to meet you. What are you doing? Oh, hold on. Okay. That should do it. Drink some water. Okay. Now, I only took my holy orders recently. So my God has only bestowed a little of his power upon me as yet. I'm sorry to say that the number of wounded fighters in this tavern is far beyond my power to cure. But there's a reason people say have faith in the gods, but look to yourself first. I may not be able to help wounded with magic, but I can at least cut up bandages. Are you from around here? No, I was just passing through Canabas. I was sailing down that old man of ours, the great Selin River, to a village by the name of Chili Creek. I happened to land in the city on the eve of the festival, and I'm ashamed to say I decided to stay for a day to enjoy myself. But I ended up staying in the city longer than I'd bargained for. Chili Creek, where is that? It's a small fishing village. It's not even marked on some maps. But people do live there. What they don't have is a priest. They have no one to heal their wounds, no one to offer prayer. Oh, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Right. Say it. No one to heal their wounds, no one to offer prayers for a good catch, no one to give their dead a dignified burial, and the world's wound is a stone's throw away. So I'll be setting sail for Chili Creek to serve my God and my people. Once we've held Canabras, I'll be going there. If by the grace of the good gods we all survive this, you should come and visit me sometime. You'll find the village here, on the bank of the river. The priest marks Chili Creek on your map. That's nice of you. Aren't you a young and inexperienced cleric, afraid to go to the border of the whirlwind? I won't lie. I am afraid, but what can I do? Those villagers are simple people. Every day of their short lives is spent doing hard, honest work. That's exactly the kind of life I want. Something simple but meaningful. If I had centuries ahead of me, like elves do, I might have spared some 50 years or so to travel around the world, the young man says with a smile. Or maybe even 100. Why not? But I don't have time to spare, so I want to spend my short life in the place where I'm needed most, even if it's dangerous, especially if it's dangerous. I could use the help of a cleric. Junog makes a helpless gesture. Erastil knows I'd be glad to help you, but it's no use. My spells are depleted and I have no training in potions or scrolls. See this robe I'm cutting up for bandages? It's the second last the second last, or it's the second to last one. Erastil. Erastil, also known as Old Deadeye and the Stag God, is one of the oldest human gods still worshipped in the Inner Sea region, and is concerned with family, farming, hunting, and trade. During the Age of Creation, Erastil was among the gods who battled Ravagard when he sought to destroy Galarian, and who were eventually able to contain him in the Dead Vault at the planet's core. His religion dates back to before the Age of Darkness, when small farming communities and hunter-gatherers prayed to him for bountiful harvests and successful hunts. Legends claim that it was Old Deadeye himself who crafted the first bow and gifted it to humans to overcome the challenges of the world. Even as the accomplishments of civilization mount, Erastil continues to embrace and represent the simple pleasures life has to offer. I have to go. May Erastil watch over you. Equal Watch Crusader, they all died as a whole troop. Damn. Foreign Autumn Haze. A tall, fragile-looking elf sits in front of you, eyes closed. He is pale as a ghost, his arm wrapped in a bloody, stained bandage. You spot other bandages on his body under his clothes. But even in such a miserable state, he manages to keep calm. Raising his eyes to meet yours, he says faintly, "I am Foreign Autumn Haze, at your service." His pale lips are reddened by blood, but you see no signs of pain or fear in his gray eyes. Do you need help? After giving you a cold, intense look, he shakes his head. "Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. A local healer attended to me. Besides, I come from a resilient, hardy people. My body will endure both the wounds and the poison delivered through them." "Who are you?" "My name is Foreign Autumn Haze. I have come here from Keonan because I am a hunter, and all minions of evil are my quarry. I won't say more than that, if you don't mind. We are strangers and of different races and cultures. I'd rather not tell you more than is necessary. Keonan, the homeland of the elven race on Galarian. Keonan is almost completely evacuated by the elves just before the fall of the Starstone. They only recently, by elven standards, returned to Galarian to reclaim their ancient homeland, and have become an isolationist throne, allowing few non-elven visitors into their most shrouded capital, Ayadara. Who wounded you?" "A sinner and accomplice to demons. The quarry I am hunting in this inhospitable place." I'm not giving you a name. I have to go. "Certainly, I won't keep you any longer." He smiles softly, "And thank you for sparing some time for a wounded stranger. I appreciate it." I'm going to the basement. Oh wow. The game froze? Yep, looks like the game froze. Oh, there we go. Surrender thy soul, Delvin. Hamade, protect us. Got you again. How many times is that today? Take your jokes and shove them, Tiefling. Oh, easy there, Chief. Don't hit me. Alright. Delvin. Go ahead. Don't take too long, though. Oh no. Right. Let's see, what does this one say? Canabra still has some fight in it. Oh, yeah, it says the same thing they say up there. Okay. Talk to Woljeff.
Hey, Chief! Hey, Dreamboat, come over here! I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
The young tiefling sits cross-legged on the floor. He looks relatively calm for someone in shackles, but his tail whips back and forth in agitation. Noticing your attention, the tiefling sits up and beckons you over.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljeff, or I'll knock your teeth out!
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Who are you?
Woljeff. Woljeff Jeffdo. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want. Anything. But there's just one problem.
The tiefling rattles his chains and gives you a meaningful look. What do you want from me?
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations, no problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
What a load of guff! If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras.
Why are you in chains?
Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
He was caught thieving.
Your shadow. What was that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you. And don't worry, it's not contagious.
Okay. I can't help you while you're chained up here. How can I free you?
That's easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy Woljeff locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. You got that? Will you do it?
This guy's great. Let's see. Alright. I'll talk to Irabeth about your situation.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
Though I didn't say I'd do it right away, I'm going to loot this place. Let's see. Nothing right here. Come on. Thank you. Hammer. Chainmail. Just some random stuff to pick up. Nothing too game breaking. But I figure out take my two here. Now I need to figure out what. Alright, so there's supposed to be there's a button to press, and I need to have the lever set up a certain way. I think this is the button. Button won't budge. Change this. Button still won't budge. Change this lever over here. Button still won't budge. Alright. Change this one. Alright, let's try that. Button will budge. Back for these two. Okay. We'll set that one. Hit this one. And it still won't budge. Okay. Right. Let's try these. Change this one, and try to push the button down. There we go.
I know the way.
Just pick every possible option. Eventually, one of them will be right. There's only so many combinations. Now, what do we got? Silver inkwell, yellow letter. What's this one about? Half a century ago, our parents fled to their homeland of Sarkoris, terrified of the invading demons. They were certain that the war would soon be over, so they didn't go too far and found their refuge here in Canabras. They used what little savings they had to build a tavern where a crusader could get a bowl of soup and a good night's rest in exchange for some money. News about their recent victories. The city looked completely different back then. It was a triumphant city full of hope, inspiring songs, and brave paladins in shining armor. We prayed to Our Lady Pelora openly and hoped that the lands of our ancestors would be ours once again in no time. Things have changed since then, though. Our parents have left to the goddess's halls. Dresden is long gone, the world grows deeper every day, and the Crusaders seem to take more interest in fighting each other and us townsfolk than in eradicating demons. Holron has gone mad and now puts all of his inquisitor's zeal into burning witches. Today, Canabras is a city of fear and suspicion. We even had to hide our altar of the Shimmering Maiden in the basement so they wouldn't accuse us of demon worship. Queen Galfrey has recently appointed Holron as prelate of Canabras. Now nothing will stop this murderer from taking complete control of the city into his hands and serving its so-called justice on everyone. His previous acts of violence were just the beginning of a full-scale massacre. We have to flee, run like our parents did. This time not from demons, but from the Crusaders. Soon we will sell our tavern and leave anywhere away from the agony of this endless war. May Pelora protect this city from whatever comes next. Let's see, 4682, 10th of Lamachan. Torgal family of the Devimal clan. So that's just money. Alright. And in this chest, unidentified helm. elixir for scrolls. Potion of lesser restoration is good. Scroll of shield, magic missile, armor. Oh, and a helm. Alright, what's the helm do? A headband of alluring charisma. Does charisma help anyone here particularly? Does not help. Yeah, it doesn't help Camellia. Currently doesn't help Sela. Alright, I guess I'll wear it just because currently I'm going to be trying to use, what's it called? Persuasion. So, for nothing else, we'll use it for that. You show headgear. It's fine. Put the Cloak of Resistance on Sela, since I'm having her be the main tank.
Follow my lead. As it should be.
Let's go over to the moon and sell stuff again. Sell in bulk. All this extra stuff. I'll hold on to the cold iron dagger since we're going to be recruiting Walter. Let's see. I guess that's it. Here, save. Before I forget, there's the conversation over here. Okay. Just listen to this woman. Isn't it amazing how much nonsense can fit into such a small package? You're what is it? Halfling, a gnome, talking like that? Dare she disrespect the Crusaders like that? Much longer. Well, day 2. Sounds pretty convincing. In dark. An imposing young Oread is surrounded by a crowd of Crusaders who are hanging on her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between Jiska legionnaires from the last war and the Crusaders, the perfection of form and the spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into parts of a well-balanced war machine, not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Jiska. The Jiska Imperium was the first human kingdom to establish itself in the Inner Sea region after the centuries of darkness and devastation caused by Earthfall. Its citizens spoke a nearly forgotten language called Jiska, whose alphabet became the basis of the alphabets of the modern languages of Skald, Varisian, and Taldan. At its height, it dominated all the northwestern Garund and also parts of the southwestern Avestan. Raids of desert nomads and attacks by powerful outsiders from 3300 onward, and the lack of a strong eastern trade route led to the slow decline of Jiska. Osirian, then a burgeoning kingdom under the control of the powerful pharaoh of forgotten plagues, pushed westward. It overthrew the already weakened Jiska, and the Imperium was plunged into numerous succession wars around 2764, from which it was never again able to recover. Its former political, military, and economic power. Because of this military and economic defeat, the important cultural, magical, and technological advances of the Jiska Imperium were largely lost and forgotten. Alright, let's see. Now, tell me again why I'm supposed to be impressed by your reckless assaults, where everyone is fighting for their ego and for the right to beat their peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice. Some of the Crusaders grumble unhappily, but it is clear that they are captivated by the woman's words. Sorry about that. Okay. The only exception is a scraggly and disheveled halfling monk, whose puffy black eye gives him away as a brawler and a troublemaker. He enthusiastically pushes forward and tries to engage, but one of his friends swiftly jabs him in the back with an elbow, making the poor fellow pause to catch his breath. It looks like we got ourselves a student of warfare. The woman gives you a suspicious look and raises an eyebrow. Were your words meant to recognize my achievements, or to start a fight the way Mendevian Crusaders usually do? One of the Crusaders angrily curls his fist tightly and retorts with a burst of passion. If those gists of yours, or whatever, had come for us, we'd have their guts for garters. You think we've never fought a mighty adversary before? The soldier's stern facade cannot fully conceal his relish. He clearly plans to enjoy this confrontation. The Crusaders around him look upon their exotic opponent with a mixture of irritation and piqued interest. The woman chuckles before cutting off her interlocutor. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries siege fortifications on its back. And I'll have you know these fortifications were defended by Jiskin priest craftsmen armed with demon-bound war machines. They use the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. The woman gives the people around her a triumphant look and adjusts her clothes with pointed nonchalance. Her voice takes on a lecturer's tone. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. Yeah, I already read about Absalom. Right. The woman looks at you and flashes an amused smile. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? Who are you? I am Indar, a warrior magus and scholar of classical warfare from Garund. The woman peers at you apprehensively, then sighs. I admit that I am mildly offended by the fact that my name is entirely unfamiliar to you. But I'm willing to accept that this is due to Avastan's isolation from the sophisticated culture of the world at large. Okay. You come a long way to be here. I like to think of myself as an inhabitant of Galarian, and I don't narrowly identify with any country in particular. Why did you come here? To witness a legendary war, a confrontation between denizens of a plain famous for its love of violence and the crusaders from every continent, united by the common goal of defending their home. An epic struggle of colossal proportions that hasn't been particularly epic so far, truth be told. The monk with a black eye grins and mutters under his breath, maybe she just can't see it from here. The view will get way more epic if she stops hiding among us and takes a walk outside. The woman smirks contemptuously. She does not deem the monk's words worthy of comment. Let's see. Know about warfare more than any of us do. I guess I'll just read. I disagree. The Crusaders are doing a commendable job at resisting the demons. Yeah. See the front line. Do I bother arguing with her or no? Yeah, sure, I'll disagree. Oh yes, in the situation we have found ourselves in can attest to that. But then again, demons are no better. Their preferred strategy also involves brute strength, mindless assault, and unfounded confidence in their superiority. Why don't you join the Crusaders and show them how fighting should be done? No. I am a historian, an analyst, a theorist. Do you know what these three words have in common? They describe a mortal woman who does not participate in the conflict upon which her thesis will be founded. But then again, I will hardly be able to describe this mess as anything other than a feeble likeness of the last war of Jiska. The monk with a damaged eye grins slyly and comments, the more dangerous the upcoming scuffle is, the more motivated we are to find clever, pretty words to justify not actually doing the fighting. What is this last war that you mentioned? The last war of Jiska, of course. A large-scale conflict that took place 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. It was a war against the Osirian pharaoh of forgotten plagues. The war that ended the legendary Jiska Imperium an epic struggle that became the most vibrant page in military history. Alas, all conflicts that followed it were but a pale shadow, including the one I am witnessing here. Why do you find the last war of Jiska so inspiring? Imagine legions of golems imbued with extraplanar spirits marching into battle. Imagine flying cities that swoop out of the clouds like terrifying monstrous birds of prey to drop forces on top of enemy castles. Picture gigantic mechanisms powered by captive and very angry demons and devils. Imagine standing in the warpath of walking citadels, or having to cover your ears to block out the sound of cannons loaded with shrieking elementals. Finally, imagine the ultimate weapon that defeated the Jiska, the deadly night plague. This affliction was an attack dog, a trained epidemic, a tamed pestilence, striking only those who its masters wanted to kill. Imagine all these terrors and understand that no flight of fancy can even come close to the horror of the nightmares that they made real. How do you know so much about Jiska's last war? I can say without false modesty that there is no more authoritative researcher on Galarian when it comes to the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. I've dedicated my whole life to this research. I've personally visited old battlefields and studied the most mysterious and forbidden archive containing chronicles of ancient wars, sometimes risking my life in the process. Galarian. The planet Galarian orbits a yellow sun in the far reaches of the material plane, third of 11 in orbit. This blue planet contains vast oceans and lush green lands, and is the perfect environment for countless cultures. Indeed, Galarian is the most populous planet in its solar system. Its innately hospitable and life-sustaining environment is presumably the work of the gods, so astronomers sometimes refer to Galarian as the child. Astronomers of other planets, however, often refer to Galarian as the cage, in reference to its cosmic role as the prison of the mad god Rovagug, who lies bound at the world's core. Okay. Right. I saw a fallen sky city of the Shori Empire with my own eyes. I ripped out the control crystal from an exterminator-class combat golem that guarded a Jiska laboratory with my own hands. These fingers held the glass flask that the servants of Pharaoh Forgotten Plagues used to create the first generation of pestilence that devastated the Jiska Imperium. How do I know so much? I saw and touched everything I am telling you about. You're wrong to treat the Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate? Oh, I will be happy to prove that the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war of Jiska. Very well. The last war of Jiska was waged using a significantly greater number of troops. Both sides actively relied on reinforcements from allied planes, and their strategic planning was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above applies to this war of yours. Compared to the Jiska, we are but stone club-wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few words of wise counsel from Dagon, an advisor to the Pharaoh of forgotten plagues. I doubt you will comprehend the true genius of his statement, but here it is nonetheless. A gadfly sees the ox. The ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but crimson fever takes them both. Plus 10 diplomacy, plus 11 to knowledge war. So we'll use that. The principles of war are always the same. Weapons, causes, and resources may change, but the foundations remain immutable. Success. Barely got it. Indara's eyes display frustration as she hears the audience, clearly impressed by your argument, murmuring approval. There is logic in your words, I give you that. Yes, the concept of war does not change, but the degree of sophistication in the methods that we use to destroy our foes. The woman stops, realizing her words, no matter how ostentatious she makes them, no longer have the power to captivate the audience. Indara offers a pretentious dismissal. As a scholar, I cannot deny that there is a certain truth beneath your skeptical statements. History is a complex discipline rooted in fact and an evidentiary base that grows ever more meager the farther the described period is from the present moment. Of course, if I were to argue in bad faith, the way Crusaders embellish their tales of slaying a single Rimrock by adding a dozen valors, for example, I could win this debate. But I am above such things, and therefore I'm forced to admit that your skepticism is not entirely without merit. You know what? No, I'll take the high road. I am sure you would have been able to expound on your arguments in a longer discussion. Indara nods with obvious relief. I am glad we both understand this limitation. It is always a pleasure to face a worthy opponent, even if the debate takes place in a grimy tavern, perhaps especially because of that. Indara unbuckles her sword belt and hands you the weapon. This is a worthy blade. It will be of use not only for the strong, but also for the wise. And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day, I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive their prey like herds of livestock. It is about time I got back to my research. The hint of a smile graces Indara's lips when she sees disappointment in the eyes of many crusaders around her. Stay safe. Okay. What I get? Oh, just I could use it. Let's see. It's a flaming +1. Yeah, flaming +1 short sword. Honestly, not bad. Sounds like I can get somebody to use it. Talk to Erebeth. Alright. Yeah. Erebeth rubs her red and tired eyes. Any success blows the city. There's a tiefling chained up in the defender's heart. What can you tell me about him? Erebeth shrugs scornfully. Woljif is a petty thief from a gang of thieflings operating in Canobras. That's what we call them in these parts. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended only one of them, and the rest managed to escape. We have nowhere else to keep him apart from the defender's heart. But that's hardly a prison. Woljif knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him go free or have someone vouch for him. He already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? Erebeth squints at you thoughtfully, then shrugs. If you want to recruit Woljif and put him to good use, go ahead and take him off our guards' hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching over a middling thief. I hope the tiefling proves useful, should you decide to take him along. Alright. I have to go. Alright, it doesn't say anything.
That is not far. I'll go ahead.
Alright.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
Woljif is sitting in the same place with his tail patiently batting the floor. I talked to Erebeth, and I've decided to make you part of my troop. We'll see how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin, get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
Woljif leaps to his feet and gleefully rubs his hands.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can you? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that big sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following? Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go, I'll show you the way.
Alright. Let's see. First things first. I'm going to try to make sure I level him up. Oh, no, there's no leveling for him. Just get him at level 3. Scoundrel. Okay. Well, since I can't change anything there, he's... No, he can't write spells into a spell book. Let's see what we can give him. Grace would screw over too many people. So, no. However, nothing wrong with having burning hands. $18 in intelligence and a 20 in dex. Wow. What feats do they start with? Oh, here we go. Alright. Tiefling, 2 weapon fighting, double slice, so you add your strength. Wait, that can't be right. Weapon finesse lets him use dex with the daggers. Doesn't he have... Isn't there a feat that lets you use dex instead? Let's see. Evasion, weakening wound. So he attacks with... So that... Thankfully, he doesn't have anything that makes him have to use daggers. So I can just let him use the just this one. Jiska, and also a cold iron dagger. I have to stop there. I didn't get any armor from him, so we'll just let him use the bracers of armor for now. So I find better gear. Oh, there's +2 bracelets for him. Let him use those. That plus mage armor should bring his armor class up to 21. It's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst. Oh, he can write spells down. Alright, so we'll give him the ability to give him the shield and summon monster. Sure. Alright.
I know the way.
We'll keep this up. We'll more or less we're done inside the Defender's Heart. So yeah, we'll stop here for now. Thank you to everyone who joined me on this run of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I'll see you all later. Until then, please take care. Just save real quick.